The very nature of policing means that we are often exposed to major incidents or events that could be viewed as traumatic. Our response to these events can sometimes take us by surprise or seem out of character. The event in Salisbury exposed our staff to a major incident, the like of which has never been seen before in the history of our force. The incident involving a nerve agent in Salisbury was something we could not have foreseen, and it propelled us into the worldwide spotlight overnight. It's only natural that this may have taken its toll on some of you. But we must remind ourselves at times like this that our responses to a traumatic event are normal. It's the event itself that is abnormal. Our team of TRIM practitioners were able to offer staff reassurance and support in processing what had happened, all taking place in a safe and confidential setting. So there should be no stigma in asking for help. I would urge anyone to accept the offer of TRIM if they feel that they need it. I know it's helped me in the past. Please take time to listen to how TRIM has helped others and how it could help you too.
Peer support is so important, and this is what TRIM is all about. It's about providing support for each other so that we can identify whether somebody is actually dealing with an incident and processing that information adequately well, or whether they need some additional support. It's not counselling, it's not a management tool to turn around and say, you're not coping with your job. It purely is there to identify how much stress attending a certain incident has caused to you and what the organisation can do to support you through that.
Because of the very nature of policing, we are exposed now to all the challenges, the harm, the dangers, the vulnerable scenes that people are dealing with on a day-by-day basis, and that's bound to have an emotive or a physical reaction to our staff, who are by all means just normal people, normal human beings dealing with the most traumatic incidents. So I think it's absolutely our fundamental duty to make sure that we're able to support our people through those traumatic experiences that they do on our behalf to protect people in Wiltshire.
The questions about the event being abnormal and the responses being normal are really key, because so often what people will feel when they have that contact is that actually they're being identified because there is a concern regarding their responses not being normal, and that's the real key message that needs to get across. It's not about the response of the individual, it's about the event that they've been to that's abnormal.
It's essential for me to know that I can share that information with either my colleagues or with a TRIM practitioner, because I have no way of knowing how that incident is going to affect me or when it's going to affect me, and I know that it could be some months down the line after the incident. So for me, I think the TRIM process is really quite essential to go through.
I think it was helpful knowing that the officer that I spoke with, the TRIM assessor that I spoke with, was a police officer that obviously, sees the things that we see and had maybe dealt with a similar event that we had on that day.
Being able to describe the experience, being able to describe the way it's making you feel, whether it's impacting on your sleep, impacting on your normal routine around exercise, whether you're becoming more irritable or less committed to certain things. These are natural reactions, and there's nothing more natural than talking about that with your family, with your friends, with your line manager, with your colleagues at work. We need to make sure that we've got that sort of open, supportive and inclusive culture, and I think that the work that we've been doing under our wellbeing approach, the support that's available within our TRIM processes, really help with that.
At the time, you don't know whether you need it or not, and you just have that thought in your mind, well, do I need to speak to someone? Oh, I'm okay. And then it's the day after when you speak to someone and you actually, have a bit of a cry and go, wow, that actually hit me. And I dreamt about it last night, and even a few weeks later, if you don't think about it at the time, it could still hit you.
Lots of different incidents, from child deaths to road traffic collisions, deaths on the railway, suicides, fights, disorders, medical emergencies as well that officers have found themselves involved in, and maybe having to administer CPR.
Yeah, so in my own experience of TRIM, I was a superintendent in Swindon. There was an experience that I didn't foresee. It did result from a death of an individual, a work-related situation, and I felt quite isolated as a result of the scenario. Really difficult. It did impact on my home life for a period of time. It disrupted my sleep and all those normal reactions that people have. I didn't really foresee. So when I was contacted by the TRIM practitioner, it felt really genuine. I really appreciated the support. I didn't actually go and ask for it. It came to me, and that felt really good actually. It felt as if the organisation was caring about me as a member of the staff.
The TRIM process is not like an interview, it's a conversation. It's about giving someone that opportunity to tell their story with somebody that is trained in giving someone that opportunity to discuss what they've been through.
The thing I would want to do differently would be to make sure that I was aware, I was capitalising on all the support that's out there, but importantly making sure as a member of the Chief Officer team that everybody in our force is aware of what's available and doesn't feel the stigma of wanting to come forward and say things aren't great for me at the moment and I would like to talk about this and I could do with some help. That shouldn't be too difficult.